Hello everyone, my name is Idan Stambulchik. I am a cybersecurity instructor with RCE Solution, and today we are going to have an introduction on the different ways that I can use Microsoft Excel in order to get a remote code execution on targeted machine. It will work on both domain environment and workgroup because it's not going to target any specific permissions. It will work from the minimum user permissions like home user and the weakest user in the domain to the highest permissions from the local admin to the enterprise admin. So I'm going to use with Microsoft Excel on the newest version of Microsoft 10. I'm going to demonstrate just a second for you. As you can see, this is the newest version of Microsoft right now in these days, and with the all the security measures will be activated without any issues, and it is not going to be detectable. So first of all, I would like to demonstrate pretty quick what we are going to talk about. So right now on the right hand, I am having on the right side a Python server that will host right now all my payloads, and I'm having a netcat server that will use as a listener. So right now I will open my Excel file. I will use with yes, of course, everything. I've created a social engineering as well. Meanwhile, you can see right now that there is a connection, and we will wait for the remote code execution to create the connection. So right now there is a PowerShell script that will main and navigate into a reverse shell, which means that the victim that will enable this file will create and communicate the reverse shell straight with my machine, the attacker machine. So right now, as we can see, I will be able to execute some PowerShell commands, and now we would like to continue to the attack. So as you can see right now, there is a hidden file right here. There is a hidden lines, and I would like to move with you guys on the different commands. So I can execute in Excel some PowerShell commands. For the people who are familiar with so invoke web request, I will download from my server the script that's called test.ps1. The output is going to navigate straight to the temp library, and I'm going to use set execution policy unrestricted in order to allow for any computer to execute the scripts, even if this is the first time that the PowerShell will be executed. Because not all the computers will allow on the beginning, you need to allow to execute unrecognized scripts. Then I will wait like 12 seconds because by using throttling, this is the best way that I can use in order to evade from security measures. Then I will import the script, and then I will use with Idan command because I have performed a manually obfuscation in order to evade from all the security measures. So right now I'm having a reverse shell by using Excel. Pretty nice. But as you can see, there is a CMD which is pretty suspicious, and if someone will turn it off right now, the session will be closed. So I would like right now to create a persistence, which means that every time that the victim will open up the computer, will turn on the machine, I will gain access to the machine by a reverse shell again and again and again. But we would like to do it without being detectable. So let's have a look what can I do. Alright, so right now we will take a look on the shell.exe, which this is an obfuscated payload that I have created. Then it will locate it inside the startup directory, and we are having shell at startup. This is the directory that every file that will be inside will be executed once the targeted machine will turn on. So this is a pretty long path, as you can see. Only executable files will be able to execute, because if you will place inside scripts like Python, like PowerShell, it will open up as a notepad, so just for you to be aware. So right now I would download this file by using PowerShell, my reverse shell, to this computer. So I'm going to use invoke web request -URI HTTP and the IP address of my targeted machine of the attacker and the shell.exe. The out file will be navigate to see users Idan, we can see it right here, and then we are navigating to app data, roaming, then Microsoft, Windows, start menu, programs, startup, and then I will call it, let's provoke with the defender and call it a malicious.exe. Right now, we can have a look. Let's verify it has been downloaded. Great. So right now, this is an executable file that calls malicious.exe. Now, I will shut down the machine. Shut down -S -T, like 2 seconds. Alright, let's turn it off. Okay, thank you very much. And I will turn it on back. Now we need to remember, as I told you, throttling, this is one of the greatest ways to evade from antiviruses. So once I will turn on my computer, you need to remember that it is not going to be executed automatically. So let's wait for it to load up. We will wait for the machine to turn on. And when it will turn on, we will wait again with the listener. So right now the Microsoft will load up, and it's going to take between 1 to 2 minutes until I will regain my remote code execution, because as I told you, I'm going to use with throttling in order to bypass all the security measures. Now, if you will create a smart Excel file with some commands, you will be able to even change values in the registry. So if right now I'm going to send it for someone which is an domain admin, and I perform some reconnaissance and gather information about him, so I can change values in the registry, for example, disable the Windows Defender, and then I will be able to use some malicious tools like Mimikatz that by a normal usage will be detectable. So let's wait for the computer to load up. We will wait like a few seconds. It's a pretty heavy machine. And then we will have a look exactly what is the output of this machine. So right now I'm going to log in into my user. We will wait like between 1 to 2 minutes, and we will see the results. So let's wait for the windows of welcome. And it's not going to be a detectable malware, because every time right now that someone will open the machine, we will just get a remote code execution straight on his computer. I want you to think how dangerous it is if someone will just right now place this kind of files into our computers. I want you to think about it. How much attackers these days will be able to gather information and get some sensitive information from different organizations by sending this kind of malicious Excel file. But some of you are telling yourself, alright, so right now I will get a malicious file, so I'm not going to open an Excel file from unrecognized sources. But you need to remember that there are attacks like mail spoofing that I can use, and I can exploit some different services like the SMTP in order to use mail relay attack. And then I will send this email with the name of one of the employees of the company. I will be able to target, for example, some people with less awareness, like the secretary. So we will wait right now, and we will take a look on the clock itself. We will wait for the communication from this machine straight to my Python server. It's going to be in a few seconds, and then we will see that the file will be executed. Meanwhile, there is a chance that we will see a pop-up from the Microsoft Defender. As you can see right now, this is the clock. Now I'm going to wait for the remote code execution, and you can see that there is an hidden window. No one will be able to trace it by a normal activity. Only if I will navigate to the task manager, we will be able to see the process itself. But let's be positive. Right now, as you can see, who am I will be able to gain access again and again for every time the defender will be activated as well, and the client will return on the machine.